Shalom, shalom. This video is the gospel portion of Parashat Tetzaveh. It is from the gospel according to Mark chapter 6, verse 14 to 29. The parallel text that also gives us insight into it is from Matthew 14, verse 1 to 12. This gospel portion is about the beheading of John the Baptizer on the order of Tetrarch Herod Antipas to keep face in front of his audience when his adopted daughter demanded John's head on a silver platter. So to set the scene, we have to know who John the Baptizer is or was. I deliberately use the present tense here, he is, because life is not extinguished. When we die, only our bodies are. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Beheaded. I'm not a Bible teacher. I'm a student of God's Word, and I love sharing with you what I'm learning from the weekly portions. In the Gospel of John, that's a different John to John the Baptizer. In the opening verses, we read about Yeshua. It is esoteric and Kabbalistic, and so that not everybody will grasp what John wrote. He wrote that in the beginning, that's before creation, the word, the logos in Greek and davar in Hebrew, was with Elohim, and the word was Elohim. And Elohim was the name by which the early people from Adam to after Abram knew God by, only as Elohim. Only to Moses at the burning bush, some 500 odd years after Abram, did Elohim reveal the holy name, which we avoid saying when we say Adonai. So I'll stick to Adonai as well in this video. Elohim et the Aleph Tav was the creator God who spoke everything into existence through Hadavar, through the word. The translations of Genesis 1 verse 1 hides this identity of Elohim from readers. And you have to look at the Hebrew text in order to find the Aleph Tav, the Elohim et. Before the word of creation was spoken, the word of Elohim was Elohim's thought. Once spoken, the word born from Elohim's thought went out of Elohim into the void, which would become this world, as it was not created yet, but the thought remained within Elohim. The name Elohim informs us that he is a complex being, both plural and singular, above our understanding. Hence, his name is in the plural form, while all the verbs ascribing his acts are singular. In Hebrew, as you may have guessed now, the verb changes between singular and plural. Elohim is one, and there's no doubt about that, and that's the reason why for the verbs change. The word that was given life from Elohim became the light of the world, and this light was created on the first day of creation. There was no other light in creation until the fourth day, when Elohim et created the sun and the moon and the stars through the word again. So that first the word became the light, and life itself was contained in this light. On the sixth day of creation, this light gave life to Adam, and this life became the light of men, as the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4 and 5 explains. It's fair to ask, where did this light go? In Hebrew, light is or, and the light is congealed into the Torah. Torah is spelled Tav Vav Resh Hay, and read letter by letter, the covenant of light or brings new life, if you read Torah in that way. This is so because the letter Tav is a mark and a covenant, and the letter Hay at the end of Torah represents a uterus, the place where new life is founded. The link to this week's Torah portion is through the light of the menorah in the tabernacle. In this light, we read in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 6 to 8, we read that John the Baptizer, on whom the spirit of Elijah rested, was a witness to testify about the light. That is, the light created on the first day by the word that emanated from Elohim's thought. Yeshua is the Et Aleph Taf, the word that became congealed in the light on the first day. Yeshua existed before the first day, as he is Elohim expressed as the Word who became the light. And on this first day, and who became life and who gave life to Adam on the sixth day. John the Baptizer's role was to prepare the way, haderech, for the light who gives life, the light eternal, by undoing what Adam did, to come into this world as the Word became basar, meat, flesh, and then came to tabernacle with mankind. In this we have yet another link to this week's Torah portion. This is who John the Baptizer is. He is the voice in the wilderness who calls us to the Messiah. And in the gospel portion of this week, Herodias, the mother of the prancing princess, was married to Tetrarch Herod Antipas. But before that, she was married to Herod Antipas's brother, Philip. She social climbed to a higher social status through an affair with the Tetrarch, and then she coerced Herod Antipas to murder his own brother in order to have her. And he did. John the Baptizer addressed this vile matter directly with Herod Antipas, and the bloodthirsty queen Herodias wanted John's head ever after. And so did Herod Antipas, but he was scared of the opinion of the people. But Herodias was evil to the bone, and she had a witch's command over Herod Antipas. Herodias' opportunity to get to John was after her daughter captivated Herod Antipas and his guests through a bewitching erotic dance. Herod Antipas, taken in the moment, made a rash promise, and Herodias quickly exploited her daughter's manufactured opportunity to cool her hatred on John the Baptizer. Her evil inclination could not extinguish the light, but she did a Satan's manipulation bidding to stop the witness who testified about the light in the world. And there's prophecy in that. John the Baptizer was not raptured, he was beheaded. In Revelation 20 verse 4 though, we read that people like John the Baptizer and Christians who are beheaded for their faith in countries under Islamic rule will receive a very special blessing. They will be returned to life and rule with Yeshua for 1,000 years. Have you noticed how the same evil spirit who possessed Herodias are influencing the Islamic world? The spirit of Elijah will return to this world again to rest on the two witnesses we read about in the book of Revelation chapter 11 verse 1 to 14, and once again to prepare the way for the coming of the light of the world, when the Jewish Messiah will return to rule for 1,000 years from Jerusalem by opening the Torah to reveal the light. After his millennium reign, this Torah light of life will ring in eternity. The light of creation is bright, so bright that everyone who does not bend the knee and confess that Yeshua is Adonai, they will be blinded by this light. The brightest light will be as eternal darkness to them. This is what Yeshua spoke about in Luke 11:35. When the light in a person becomes darkness. I hope that what I said will entice you to read this gospel portion with understanding. I pray that Adonai Eloheinu will bless you and keep you, that he will shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. I pray that he will lift his countenance upon you, provide for your every need, and that he will give you shalom, even in tribulation. Shalom, shalom.